Hello, and welcome to the Woolly Bee Podcast. This is episode 13. Today is Wednesday, May 10th, 2017. My name is Sarah. My username on Ravelry is MacAttack, and my username on Instagram is Mac08Attack. If you are a new viewer, thank you for coming and checking me out. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. I hope you enjoy the show. And as I always mean to say and forget to say, this is a sporadically recorded, very relaxed, I guess would be the word, non-professional, mostly knitting podcast with a fair amount of enabling. So I hope you enjoy the show, and thanks. For those of you who are returning, you will note that I am in a different location yet again. I am home back in Northern Virginia right now, and this is actually my backyard. So I've got the computer. I'm recording on my computer, so that video isn't as great, but it's easier. I have that on a table, which it's kind of wanting to shake a little bit, so hopefully it's not too distracting. And also, well, I'm outside because it's a stunning day. It's like 70 degrees and sunny and gorgeous, and I could not be out here. So hopefully you'll be able to hear the birds in the background, hear all the little critters, and hopefully the planes overhead will not be too distracting. I live less than a mile from a small, it's not that small, but municipal airport. It has a lot of planes that fly in and out of it. And so there's one, as I was prepping for the podcast, that's been circling overhead, which is what they usually do, Cessnas and private jets and stuff like that. I don't actually know who owns said private jets. Nobody who actually lives here that I'm aware of. I've never met anybody who owns a plane over there, but they live somewhere and they fly their planes out of there for fun, I guess. As long as we don't have a low-flying helicopter, hopefully it'll be okay. But I'm going to try real quick. I hope I don't get motion sickness when people do this, but I guess that some people do. I'm going to try to just give you a quick look at my backyard, because it is a really, really lovely place. So hang on. So I'm on our patio right now. There's our clothesline, kind of the yard. Circling around, there's a lovely pole and a grill, and the rest of it is over there. And actually, behind the pole is a bird feeder. So hopefully that was a decent view. I have no idea if it was. But basically, I'm on the corner of my house here. The back of my house is behind the computer screen, and the rest of my yard is all that way. So it's just a beautiful day, and thought we would take advantage. So let's jump into the content, and then I will talk about kind of what's been happening lately, some of the fun stuff I've done. There is going to be a lot of enabling this episode, but that'll be later. So if you aren't interested in enabling, we can say goodbye then. If you are, hang on. I'm probably going to be highly distracted by all the critters today, so sorry. I'm also getting over a cold, so if I sound a little funny or if I have some odd throat clearing, I'll try to not do that, but that would be why. So let's jump into content. I have a finished object. I finished my cane by Dee O'Keefe that I was knitting out of some Neighborhood Fiber Company Studio DK in Columbus Circle. Fortunately or unfortunately, it is actually over on the clothesline blocking. So I will try to put a picture in here that shows you what it looks like. The reason why I have it blocking on the clothesline is, and this is more of a pro tip than anything, is before you soak your item to block, make sure you have all of your blocking supplies. So I had all my blocking supplies at school in a closet, and when my dad came, I forget exactly when it was, in April, I don't remember where it was in relation to the last episode, but I gave him some stuff to take home, and I know I gave him the blocking mats that I have that were in that closet because they're here, and I gave him my long non-flexible wires, but I don't know where the flexible wires, the blocking pins, or the knit blockers went. I don't know if I just kept those at school or if I sent them home and they're in a bag that I couldn't find. So I now have the shawl. It's already wet. It's already in the sink soaking. And I have nothing to pin it out with. And I was like, well, shoot. So I said, well, I've seen people do this clothesline blocking thing. So, well, let's give it a shot. If anything, I just need to dry it and reblock it when I find everything. So that's the picture that I will show you. I also have to get it before my mom comes home today from work because it is for her. So, and I mentioned some of this last time, but her birthday is in a week from today. And I'll be back at school for a summer class that I have to take starting next week. I'll talk about that later. But I won't be home on her actual birthday. What we usually do in our house, particularly for my parents' birthdays, is we'll celebrate on the weekend. So we'll probably celebrate the weekend after her birthday in a week and a half. And I will probably come home for a day or for a couple days that weekend to do that. Basically because I just want a really good dinner and some cake. And because I have some presents for my mom. One of which is that shawl. So I needed to have it blocked and ready to go so that when I came home in a week and a half, I could just wrap it up and give it to her. Which will work great if this blocks out as I hoped. But I'm not sure if it will. So if anything, I need it dry so I can put it away so I can give it to her sort of blocked. And we'll go from there. But I think it's working. My only concern is, and I should have pulled up a picture, but there's a garter edge on two sides. Well, technically on all three sides, but two of the sides the garter wants to flip. And I've got a whole rig up right now to make sure that doesn't happen. But I just don't know if it's going to hold when I take all the clothespins off of it. So if it doesn't, then I'm going to need to reblock it. That's one of the planes. You can probably hear that. Yeah. A couple engine prop plane flying over because why not? Is what it is. So the shawl's over there. It's pretty much dry at this point, but I'm going to wait until the episode is over just because I want it super dry. But it came out nicely. I used as much of the yarn as I could, so I used 2 skeins, so it was just under, actually I'm going to pull it up on my tablet, just under 550 yards. I did alternate because it's a hand-dyed yarn, and I knew it was going to do funky things if I didn't. It did end up coming out a little bit stripier than I was hoping, but I hope she loves it nonetheless. I think it still looks fine. It is what it is, but we'll see. But let me pull up. So I used 490 yards of my 550. Yes. I was using one of those shawl calculators online, and I added an extra body repeat. I think I just added one. And then I did the edging, and I don't think I could have gotten another body repeat. I might have, but it would have been cutting it closer than I wanted, and I thought it was big enough for my mom. She doesn't like her things too big, so I think it's good. I think it'll be okay. But here is a picture of the original. So I did it in a DK weight. The original pattern calls for a worsted, which is why I was able to add another repeat. But here is what it looks like. There's a reflection. Shoot. So that's the original. I knit mine on US 6, CHOGU 32 inch, and that is probably a 4mm needle. But that's what I have for finished objects. So let's jump into works in progress. I have multiple, which is exciting. Benji. My cats are sitting. We have the windows open and they're in love, so they're taking their turns, sitting in the sunshine, sniffing the air, desperately wishing they could come outside with me, which is not going to happen. So my first work in progress is in my pink Fringe Supply field bag. I did start this last week. I have not made that much progress, but that's okay. So I started I think it's pronounced Amalia, and that's what we're going with. The Amalia socks. there's a chickadee currently thinking it's a woodpecker in our cherry tree. A chickadee. There must be a bug. It's very cute. It's very little. It's like this big. And I'm getting a headache watching it. That's okay. As I said, distractions. Wildlife. I like wildlife. Hey, Benji. So here is what I have so far. So this is the Amalia sock. I'll show you the finished picture in a minute. And this whole camera business is kind of messing with me. So there's the panel. You can see it's kind of this leaf-like pattern that will go all the way up the side of the foot and up the leg. This is the right sock. I'll do the left. That'll be mirror imaged. And I am using, let's see if I have a tag. Oh, the tag's inside. Not gonna take it out. I'm using Madeline Tosh Twist, I believe. I'll check. In the Cosmic Wonder Dust colorway. And I purchased this off Craftsy like a month and a half ago. So this is not doing it justice, also because this camera kind of sucks. But you can see all the speckles. There are purple, aqua, green, highlighter yellow, orange, and pink speckles. So that is the amount of progress I have so far. I am knitting these on 2 US 1.5, which is a 2.5 millimeter needle. I'm doing it on 2 24-inch circs right now, which is before I've said I don't particularly enjoy. But I had started these on double points, and my needle break was between this panel and the sock, and where the knit and purls meet. That's where my needle break was, and between the needle break and this change in stitch pattern, I was getting some kind of funky ladder type thing, and I was like, yeah, that ain't gonna fly. Ah, Benji! No! Clawing at the door. So I put it on 2 circs. The yarn is lovely. The pattern is lovely. It is toe up, and I just really, really hate toe up. I really do. I was like, oh, you'll do it and you'll love it and it'll be great. No, I really hate it. I don't know why. I can increase until I'm blue in the face on a shawl, and I love it. I have to increase on a sock, and I hate it. I don't know why. I would much rather decrease down a gusset and decrease down a toe than increase a toe and increase a gusset. I don't know. I do think I could flip this chart over and do it top down with some creativity, but I wanted it to stop right where the toe starts, so I sucked it up and we're doing it. But so that's it. I am knitting the 4th size. They label them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is the 68 stitch size. I also, this is in part because I can't read, and in part because this is what fits me better. It's mostly because I can't read. I did change the toe, so it called for more of a rounded toe where you would increase every round for a little bit and then every other round. And I just did every other round the whole time. Because I have really long toes and a very wide toe box, so I don't need that rounded fit, typically. So that is that. So let me actually show you what the finished sock will someday look like on my tablet. Here we are. So there you can see the pattern up the foot of the sock. So this pattern is by Verena Kors, who is the Wool Club, and it is a paid for pattern. Right now it's 550 euros. So that is my first work in progress. My second work in progress is actually not knitting. First off, it is knitting, or it's living, not knitting. In this really, we can't see it with the sun. Stinking cute You So and So large wedge firefly hunting bag that I got last summer that I love. Because first off, you have to see the fabric. It's I don't know if you can tell, but there are fireflies and jars, and it's gorgeous. I am crocheting a thing. We're not quite sure how the thing is going to turn out, but we're doing it. I can always rip the thing out if I hate it. So I'm a little tangled, so let me untangle real quick. Hey, Benji! No, 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 no. He wants to come out, that's fine. So I'm crocheting, it's called the Zerka shawl. And again, I don't remember who it's by, but I'll show you a pattern. And here's what I have so far. And actually, it's not too bad looking, considering. It's going to cover my face, but. So this is a bottom-up triangular shawl that is filet crochet, which I have never actually done a project in. So I am stitching this out of Neighborhood Fiber Company Rustic Fingering, and the balls did not line properly, but that's okay. We're just being very careful. Neighborhood Fiber Company Rustic Fingering in the Riverside colorway, which was one of her limited editions from last winter, I believe. But it's this beautiful, not quite ice, not quite aqua blue. It's very sky blue. I was gonna look, yeah, it's almost sky blue, not quite. Actually, here's the tag. Rustic Fingering is 475 yards, 100% superwash merino. So, Neighborhood Fiber Company, sticker on it. So I got these at Fiberspace, as typical. But it's filet crochet, and it features your traditional, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but traditional snowflake motif. No, it just doesn't, not showing up properly. It's where my head is. Traditional snowflake motif, you can kind of tell a little bit, with some diamonds. So you stitch it from the bottom up, and then you'll put on an edge around. So that's what I have so far. It's easy. It has a chart, which I've actually really been enjoying following once I got the hang of it, because it's very visual, it's very easy. I am alternating skeins, which is kind of annoying because the shawl is primarily double crochet, and this is not the side I'm carrying up, but I have to cover a good inch plus with my floats up the edge. Let me see, this edge has it. So you can see here are the loops. If you look kind of on my face. I am going to be crocheting around here for the edge, so I think it'll be okay. But it's more of a float than I would have liked. But it is what it is. I need to alternate, so we're doing it. It's not ideal, but it's working. So that is that pattern. Let me show you what the finished shawl will look like to some degree. I did purchase this pattern. It's a paid for. Back during the indie gift along last, like, Thanksgiving, Black Friday time. So it's by Elena Fedotova. It's a beautifully written pattern. And this is what it will look like. So there you can see the snowflakes that will appear at some point, or will be better visualized at some point. So that is Elena Fedotova. She goes by Bubble Birds, apparently. So, but it's a great pattern. I'm enjoying it. Fingering weight. Yeah, it's a good introduction if you want to try filet crochet, because I've never really done it. I knew sort of what it entailed, but it's been easygoing so far. And it's good to kind of crochet a project. I'm not a crocheter. I'm not going to be a crocheter. A raven, because now we have ravens in our yard, and they're very noisy, and I kind of like them. I don't know. one just flew over. So that is my second work in progress. But wait, there's more. So my last work in progress, I started it the first time 2 days ago, so Monday, and joined it with a twist. Had to rip it out. I restarted yesterday and it's going great. So I cast on, so first off, it's living in my natural colored field bag. I cast on Lindisfarne by Lucy, I think it's Hague, Hague, but I don't actually know if that's the pronunciation. But she does amazing, like, oh my goodness, amazing cable designs. If you are interested at all in cables, or if you are interested in amazing design work, things that you didn't know yarn could do, check out her patterns, because they're amazing. So this is not going to look like much, to be honest, but we're going to try. And I'm probably really tangled. And that raven is going to make an appearance of some kinds. So here's what I have so far. Actually, that looks really good. Ooh. So between my fingers is Why Are We Mowing? Alright, we're going to see if we can just talk over it. Is One Pattern Repeat. So this is an epic cabled wrap. It's a two-colored pattern. So you're alternating, it's a background of garter stitch, where every round, not every other round, you change colors. And that's what gives you this blended background, of which you have your main color, which is my green, and your contrast, which is my white, cables dancing on the background on top of that. And so you provisionally cast it on because there's going to be an I-cord edge later. My provisional cast on is white. Probably not the best choice, but it's what I had. I did a crochet cast on, which is not what the pattern calls for, because I did what the pattern called for the night before, and I think that was part of why I ended up in the predicament that I did. So I provisionally cast it on. You're casting on almost 400 stitches. I don't know why I'm mowing it anyway. And I joined and I did like a round and a half, one of which is primarily purled, and I realized I was twisted. So out it came, redid it yesterday, much better, and now we're going. It's an extraordinarily slow going pattern. I think the last round probably took me nearly an hour, but it's going to be worth every moment. So as for yarn and needles, let me just show you my needles. I'm using a 40-inch ChiaoGoo US3, which is a 3.25 millimeter circular needle. The pattern does not call for a needle length, which is as long, 40-inch. 40-inch. As for the yarn that I am using, I am going ridiculously traditional with my color choice. And I am using, again, it's Neighborhood Fiber Company Rustic Fingering, like the last project. I'm using Fells Point, which is green with yellow, and that is just not, that's pretty good. It's green. Think like St. Patrick's Day. So noisy. So I'm using that, and I'm using, so that's Fells Point, and I'm using the natural color, which is Roland Park. Again, all these skeins got wound up kind of funky, but we're rolling with it. I am alternating the green, so it's 2 skeins of each color. I am alternating the green. So I have 3 skeins attached to this project right now, which is insanity. But what's actually really cool and why it's not, other than juggling a bunch of yarn, a problem is that, so this pattern is cleverly designed. It's a big scarf wrap type thing that you actually knit in the round and will steek. and I'll show you the picture of why that is, but here are my steek stitches. I'm going to cut this steek right in the middle, which is where I'm twisting all my colors together. So if it's not a perfect twist up the back, I don't care, because I'm going to cut it anyways. Brilliant. So that's kind of all there is to show right now. There's not much, but I'm really intrigued by it. Even if I never wear it, which there's a good chance I'll never wear it, I'm just having a really good time knitting it. I think it's going to be a really fun, engaging, intriguing knit. But let me show you the actual finished project. It wants to reload. Let me see. Ooh. Okay, this picture is probably the best. So this is just kind of the edge of the wrap. That is not what I wanted. So that's what it's going to look like. So instead of that orangey color, mine's green, and blue is replaced with white on mine. So that fringe on the bottom is actually the steek. So you knit this whole thing in a tube, you'll steek it, so that way you're not cabling on the wrong side, and then you automatically have fringe. It's brilliant. It's so clever. And so you can change colors, you don't have to worry about it. It's brilliant. So I'm enjoying that knit a lot. That's kind of become my favorite of the 3 works in progress that I have. I am kind of on this Startitis kick, where there are like 3 or 4 other projects I could just totally cast on right now. And I might. I don't know. But I'm having a really good time just stitching. It's been a nice change of pace. I have no cross stitch. I have no spinning. I kind of want to cross stitch right now. In particular, yesterday I was getting some hand cramps from knitting, but all my cross stitches at school, so I can't actually stitch right now without starting something new, and I don't have my needles, I don't have my frames or my hoops, so I didn't think that out, but that's okay. So next, let's jump into, it's going to be a combination of enabling and life, kind of all in one. But I'm going to separate some of the enabling. So I recorded last about 3 weeks ago. Since then, the semester has finished for me. Oh, it's so nice to be done. Like, oh my goodness. So it's been really nice yesterday and today to not have to do anything. I have nothing to do except knit. Sorry, this sun is now like all up on me. I'm totally blown out, but whatever. I look like a hot mess anyways, so it's okay. But it's been really, really lovely. Outside of that, not much at school, but I did come home just about a week ago. Benji. Just about a week ago, because my mom and I went to Maryland Sheep and Wool last weekend, which I will talk about in depth if you're interested in. But before then, because I was home, and because Danielle of Fiberspace is a clever genius, she hosts a Hazelnuts pop-up shop that same weekend in May. And I love me some hazelnuts. So I was able to, I worked it last year when I was there, and of course I had to attend. I just went by this year. So I went in Friday morning. I did some business stuff with her, did some shopping. We got lunch together, got coffee. It was really lovely, minus the fact that that was the day that the East Coast got rain dumped all over it. There was a lot of rain that morning, to the point where the weather service was like, yeah, it's raining up to 2 inches an hour. And Lisa's was like, oh my god, so much water. And it's supposed to rain like another 2 inches this weekend. Craziness. Everything's really green, and we'll need that water, but it's a lot. So I got some goodies at Fiberspace. So I have some other goodies to show too. I have a lot of goodies. Let me show you the Fiberspace goodies, and then I will show you some other ones, and then we'll talk about Maryland. So I did a lot of damage at Fiberspace, a lot more than I had honestly planned on. And I can blame somebody for that, and I can blame myself for the rest of it, as you'll see. So this is the part where if you do not want to be enabled, goodbye, thank you for watching. Otherwise, enjoy all the yarn. Please do not judge me. This is you finished your semester. You have a job. Rock on, girlfriend. Yeah, I got yarn. So I'm not sure what the best way to do this is. So I'm not going to show you all of them. I got 5 skeins of Hazelnut's Lively DK and Nickel. To make a sweater. This was a very impulse purchase because my friend designer Olga Baraya Kafilian was sitting there on the couch and she goes, "Hey Sarah, I just designed the sweater. It's coming out soon. Go try it on." Okay. It was a size larger, I think, than I would have knit for myself based on my bust measurement, but it fit me perfectly. So either my measurements were off or the different ease amounts. But I tried it on and I fell in love. And it's a DK weight sweater. So I walked over to the table of Lively DK, and between that and the neighborhood fiber company Studio DK, said, do I want a colorful sweater or do I want a neutral sweater? Her sweater was in gray. It was a shade darker than this. And I was almost going to go with Canton, my lovely seafoam green love color from neighborhood. But I decided that gray was the way to go. So I got Nickel. These were the last 5 skeins. Picked them up and said done. So I got those. All Olga's fault. Especially because I was not buying any more sweater quantities from here to eternity until I knit all of the ones that I had. That's okay. Next up, I got 2 skeins of Cadence, Hazelnut's Cadence, in these 2 lovely colors. So this is Bloom, and this is Joyride. And I don't think these are coming up accurate, but they're pink, and I love them. So Bloom is a really beautiful pink, kind of overwashing a pale yellow. I love this color. This is one of my favorites. And Joyride is now one of my new favorites because it is just like bright watermelony summer pink. And they actually go really, really, really well together, and this light just doesn't do it justice. So these are going to be a brioche cowl together. I originally wanted Bloom and Iris, and I need to hold it up to the Iris socks I just finished and see how I like it, but they didn't have any Iris. They had Joyride, so I think that's a winning combo. It's $2.20. Next, I got 2 skeins of Artisan Sock. Hey, Benji! Stop! Meow! You're pathetic. I love him, but he's pathetic. He is now crying because he does that when his people are outside, and we won't let him come out. He just sits at the door, and he paws at the screen, and he makes little holes in it that the bugs can get into, and he cries. And cries. And cries. And it's pathetic. And we don't care. Because he's not allowed outside. Unless I may pick him up and bring him out, but he's so bad. So, back to the art. Sidetrack with cats. But I got 2 skeins of Artisan Sock. Most of the ones that are in the pop-up shop are Rogues, so one of a kinds. Some of them had names on them, which leads me to believe that they may be new colors. I have not had confirmation of that yet. But I hope so, because they're really stunning. Which is why I bought them. So I got a skein of Ticklish. Which, yeah, that doesn't do that color justice at all. It's pale pink, very pale pink, with darker pink speckles. You can see some of them, and very soft green speckles. And it's delicate, it's beautiful, and I'm in love. At first I picked it up and was like, oh, that's like the pepperminty stick one you got last year. And I was about to put it back and I saw the green in it, and I was like, sold. So this is the last one like this on Friday. So I had to get that. And then I think this might have been the last one like this too. I got Caterpillar. Yeah, that doesn't do how bright and colorful this is. So this is bright spring green with, they're not speckles, but some variated darker green and yellowy green thrown into it. I love it. It's so pretty. It's just like the Very Hungry Caterpillar. I love it. So those are the hazelnuts that I got. Yes, Benji. Hi. Meow. Meow. I need to show you this cat. We're going to try. Again, if you're motion sickness, I'm sorry. Do you see over there by that door, there's a cat? Meow. It's my cat being pathetic. Because that wasn't enough, there was some Hedgehog Merino DK on the shelf from from a shipment a couple weeks ago. My favorite Heyday was there. So I got 2 skeins of Heyday, which, if you know, I absolutely love this color. It is summer in a skein. So I got 2 of these, and then I got 2 skeins of Neighborhood Studio DK and Palisades to go with it. So Palisades is blue, so they're going to go together. And this is going to be a Ramble shawl by Andrea Mowry. And that is because about a week ago, I saw on the Hedgehog boards, somebody was doing a Ramble shawl in Poppy and Graphite, I believe, from Hedgehog. So a fairly light speckle and a dark color. And I just loved it. This is my version. So, Heyday, Palisades. There is kind of a royally blue in Heyday, which matches Hedgehog's electric. There wasn't any electric. There was Palisades, so they're perfect. And then, because it was really, really pretty, I got 1 skein of Hedgehog Merino DK and Bramble. Again, these colors are just all washed out with the light. But it is a natural base with primarily brown, aqua, and pink speckles. And then there's some orange in there as well. But it's really, really pretty. So I don't know what this will be. Probably a hat. So that's what I got at Fiberspace. I also got the needle that my Lindisfarne is on, but that's not that exciting. So I said, there's a lot of enabling today. So I had a really good time. I did nearly get a big wheel of Hazelnuts Entice in Joyride. I really wanted it. But first off, I already blew budgets way out of the water on this. So I couldn't really justify it. And I have a lot of pink shawl yarn that was similar enough that I couldn't justify it right now. So maybe next year, yeah. The lady who ended up buying it has a lot going on in her personal life, so she totally deserves it. Because we were chatting, and I put it down, and she's like, are you sure you don't want it? I was like, no, I don't need it. And she's like, all right, well, I'll take it. It's like, rock on. It's nice to see. If you're not going to take it, yarn go to a good, deserving home. It's yarn. I know it shouldn't matter, but it totally does. So the next thing is going to be crinkly, and it is not yarn, but I have to show you anyways. So about a month ago, my mom went to London with her sister the week of Easter, and she got me some goodies. So it's fairly common knowledge that I don't really sew, but I pretend like I do. First off, she went to Cath Kidston, which if you don't know Cath Kidston stuff, it's really adorable. Really, really adorable. And a lot of it's London themed. So I have a pillow. I think my aunt got it when we went to London. So the three of us, so my mom and her sister went this time. My mom, her sister, and I went 6 years ago, about the same time, in April, for my high school. It was kind of like a graduation present type deal. We had a great time. And my aunt gave me a pillow that was a Cath Kidston pillow. And I love it. It's at school. It's been at school with me every year. It'll go into my apartment someday. So my mom went and so they went to Cath Kidston, and my mom found fabric. So I'm not going to probably take all of these out because it is quickly. The first fabric is this blue London fabric. And I opened it. This is what my pillow is out of. So this is what she got me the most of. I think this is, I don't remember. My mom knows, 1.5 meters or 2 meters. I don't remember. It's kind of a canvasy material. Not quite a heavy canvas, like a field bag canvas, but it's a canvasy material. And it's got every major London landmark on it. So the thought is I can make more pillows for my living room, which is what I'm going to do. Sorry. So that's the first one. The second one is the same fabric in white. So it's just like a natural off-white background. Same print. So it's got Buckingham Palace, London Bridge, the London Eye, the buses, Parliament, all that good stuff all over it. So I'm going to have all these matching pillows. I'll make project bags, of course. And then is a contrast. She got me, it's pale blue and white polka dots, which is really, really lovely. So this might be pillow backing, this might be additional accent pillows, this might be bag insides, I don't know yet. So I have a lot of sewing skills to improve on before I go stitching up, cutting and stitching this, but I think it's going to be amazing. And it was such a fun surprise to have her pick that up for me, and I think it'll be awesome. I love it. I did get a couple mugs as well. I've been kind of unofficially collecting those Starbucks City mugs. So I have a bunch that she gave me for my birthday and Christmas. Last summer I picked up a Vegas one. And then my parents went to New Orleans in March, so my mom got me a New Orleans one, and then she got me a London one. My aunt got me a Dubai one when she went to Dubai a couple years ago, which the Dubai one is bigger than the Starbucks ones otherwise, but it's a Starbucks mug. So I'm going to have all these city mugs, and I can't wait. I also have New York, Boston, D.C., Virginia. What's the other fifth one? I don't remember. There's another one. So they're awesome. They're all upstairs in my room. But I got those. So my last, well, no, not my last. So I guess before we talk about Maryland, sorry, my nose. Let me give you a foot update. So you'll remember last time, or last couple times, I talked about how I fought with gravity and lost, and sprained my ankle, broke my foot, all that good stuff. I have been in my walking boot now for a month tomorrow. And surprisingly, I don't hate it yet. Last time I was at a walking boot, I hated it immediately. And this time I really still need it, so we're dealing. But I have been in my walking boot. I have an appointment next week to see kind of where things are at. I have regained a fair bit of motion, and I'm in a lot less pain, but there's still enough pain there and enough stiffness that I think it's possibly problematic, but I don't really know where I should be. So the appointment next week will tell me that. We also were concerned for a second break up along the long bones of the foot, up near the toes. I didn't actually break any toes. And I thought pretty much from the beginning that I did break something up there, and I'm pretty sure I did, because I still have very specific point tenderness. And I remember when I went last month, he said, if it still hurts in a month, we're definitely going to x-ray it again, because by then we'll be able to tell if it's broken. So it still hurts. It is what it is. I've been getting along okay. The only problem I've really had has been this really, really nice weather that wants me to take a walk, or makes me want to take a walk, and I can't. Yesterday, it was a little cooler than today, and I just so badly wanted to get out of the house and go for a walk. And I thought about just taking a short one, like down the cul-de-sac, but my mom was like, no, don't do it, blah, 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 blah. I probably should have just done it, but that's okay. But we're getting there. It's healing. It's just a slow process. So don't fall downstairs. Which leads me to Maryland Sheep and Wool. As my nose is getting all clogged. Again. So my mom and I went to Maryland Sheep and Wool on Sunday. We have gone... Well, let's see. So this was my 9th year going, her 8th year. We have been every year except for 2012. Yeah. Yes. I've been every year except 2012. So my first year was in 2008. I went all through high school, missed my first year of college, went the rest of college last year and this year. So we went, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to go with the boot, and I mean, my foot was not happy, but I was determined. So we made it work. It was good. Lots of breaks, a nice long lunch break with my foot up. On the way home, there's a Starbucks we always pass that we go to, and I made a point to get some extra cups of ice, so I could put ice on my foot on the way home, which was good. So, let's see. So we got up early Sunday morning, got going. It's about an hour and a half drive from my house on a Sunday morning. Made that with no problem. We got there, we got in, bathroom, all that good stuff, and by then the festival had just about started. And we just strolled around. So I usually always hit the main barn first. This year I didn't have anywhere I wanted to be at opening, whereas other years I knew I wanted to be at Into the World or Bosworth or wherever. This year I didn't really have anywhere I wanted to be, but it was chilly on Sunday. It was, when we got there, it was probably around 50, and it did warm up to about 60, but it was windy. So I was dressed for the weather, per se, but I was not necessarily prepared for the wind. So we decided, well, let's go in the main barn because it's a building and it won't be windy. So we took a couple laps in there, had a good time, spent some time, did some of the barns. I met up with friends throughout the day, Jillian, Jane, Leslie, Danielle, Michelle, other fiber friends. It was lovely. Had a good lunch, came back, did all the outdoor vendors, and just strolled around. It was lovely. We didn't get to see as many of the animals as I wanted because we waited till the end to do those, and by then my foot was like over it. And I was over it. I was done. If I had been more mobile, I totally would have taken more time, but it just wasn't going to happen. But it means I still did some damage. I actually was really good. I bought one thing after lunch, and that was something I almost bought before lunch, and I put it back, and I was like, no, I think I do really want it, and I went back and it was still there, so I picked that up. But I bought only one thing after lunch, which was good, and yeah, so let me jump into more enabling. So the first place I bought yarn at was, sorry guys, Backyard Fiberworks. They were new this year, and I'm in love. Actually, here is her card, Alice. Backyard Fiberworks. And her yarn was stunning. I knew I wanted to check them out. I heard some stuff about them. I think I follow her on Instagram. But I had seen some people from the day before that had posted some good stuff. So I definitely had to check them out and check her out. So the first thing I got was a skein of her Orchard base. So here's what it looks like. Orchard is an 80% merino, 20% silk, 600 yard, 150 gram light fingering base. And you can't really tell, but it just kind of glitters with the silk. It's really pretty. And I got this in the Tide Pool colorway. So it's not a true gray blue, but it's a very gray blue. And it's very soft. So this was pricey, but it was worth it. I could have bought so much in her booth. Luckily, I have a 50% off code to go buy more. So I need to see if that has an expiration date, because I need to take a little yarn break for a while. But I have a list going. She had some amazing American Cormo that I really wanted. And I probably should have bought it, but I didn't. They had a sample and a gradient, and my mom really loved. She'd sold out of the gradient, but it looks stunning on my mom, so we have to get that. And there's so many other colors that I want. When they finish mowing, you're like, oh, they can hear me now. It's awkward. Whatever. I don't even know who that is, but that's okay. I then got 2 skeins of her sock, which is 100% superwash merino, 400 yards, 100 grams. One is in the Lake colorway, and this is much greener, and it's coming up. If you are actually interested in any of the colors, I have pictures up on my stash pages that are all pretty accurate. So Lake and Dulcinea, which is a speckly pink. Look at those speckles. So those are the goodies I got from her. Again, I could have done so much more. She had a 50/50 merino silk DK. Oh my god. Oh my god. Among other things that were amazing. So next up, the booth actually right next door was another one I wanted to go to, and that was Flying Goat Farm. And I don't know where they're located out of. Backyard Fiberworks is in Maryland. Flying Goat, I don't remember. But I got a skein of their Zephyrette, which is a 70% alpaca, 20% silk, 10% cashmere sport weight. 200 yards of heaven. It was pricey, but it's like a kitten. So I got it in the Surf colorway. Again, it's a bit more aqua, and it's coming up. But it's really, really gorgeous. They had just a whole bunch. And so I got that. That'll be a really lovely little cowl. Next up was another new to me. All of these but one are new. New to me. Sorry guys. Yankee Dyer Yarns. They were another new vendor this year. and I was really fun chatting with those ladies. So I got some of their yarn. I got both my skeins are her Yankee Soul 2, which is an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 100 grams, 400 yards base. So the first one I picked up is called Mixed Gems. And that's not going to do it justice. So it's that beautiful blue, and it's got speckles of a bunch of different colors. Kind of red, purple, green. Yeah. So really, really pretty yarn. I was looking for speckles this year because speckles are hot right now, and these ladies came through for me. The other one is her Speckle to Meet You colorway. Of course, it's EUE, and this was her show colorway. These were pretty variable, but they were also pretty. So it's pink, much like the other one I showed you, but it's got all of these speckles of blues and purples and reds and that whole splash of green at the bottom and pink. So really pretty. So I got those. Then I got another new dyer. They don't have a tag. Their setup was interesting, but it was Oasis Farm Fiber Mill. They're from Maine, and they just had skeins, and you just picked off what you wanted. Like, all of them were the same price, different bases. So I got the Bargain Bunny base, and this beautiful, that's not accurate, mint green. And it's, I believe it was 90% superwash, I don't know if it was superwash, but merino and 10% Angora. To sport weight, it's about 200 yards. So that's that. And I could have done a lot of damage with her. This was an impulse purchase, and I regretted it the moment I purchased it. When I pulled it out of the bag today, I was like, wow, that really is lovely. Why didn't you buy more? Silliness. So, what they did was, they had all the skeins of one color on like a shower curtain ring. They had them all hanging up on racks per the base. And you just picked off what you wanted. I was like, wow, brilliant. And they just had they rang you up by the number of skeins you had. Amazing. So that's Bargain Bunny. It's very soft, it's very fuzzy. And this will probably be a hat. But it could be a really lovely cowl too, because it's so soft. I don't know. I love it. It'll probably just be a hat because there's a bunch of hats I want to make that are all calling for sport weight. So that's the thought behind that. But it's beautiful. So that was. Oh, I have one more thing that was purchased before lunch, but it's not yarn. Let me see if it's where in the bag it is. Eek. Can't actually tell where everything is. Let's see. Yikes. Hang on. Oh, here it is. So I got some. Interesting. I got some blueberry honey from Snyder's Apiaries. So it's a pound of honey. They are from Maryland, but their blueberry honey comes from Maine. So I tried all of their honeys. They were all so good. But I got the blueberry. I'm hoping next year when I have more money, they had like 5-pound jars to get one of those because I love honey. But this was beautiful. They had raspberry, orange blossom, buckwheat, wildflower, alfalfa. The alfalfa was good. It was light. And some others. So I got that. And my last skein, my after lunch purchase, was yarn bag down. That's okay. Was a skein of Socks That Rock Lightweight from The Fold. or it's Blue Moon Fiber Arts, but I purchased it at the Fold in the Leapfrog colorway. So, again, that's not accurate, but it's bright green. I almost didn't get it because it's very much like the caterpillar from Hazelnuts that I got, but so be it. I wanted it. The only thing I didn't purchase that I was very on the fence, I'm going to just pick up this bag as I'm halfway through a sentence because that's appropriate, was a set of signature double points. So I actually stopped by their booth twice and tried their double points twice. And I just couldn't pull the trigger. I don't know why. I do know why, but I just couldn't do it. And I just really couldn't decide what size I thought I wanted. I thought I wanted 2s because that's what I usually knit on, but then I wasn't sure, and it's a lot of money. So I tried them. So I'm going to give it a little while, let my sock bug continue to return, and then really evaluate what size I would like to start out with. Because, so 2s are what I normally knit with, but I already have a set of Diet Craft darn pretty double points that they don't make anymore. So I'm like, I already have a fancy set of 2s. Maybe I should get another fancy set of 1.5s. I don't know. So I just really couldn't pull the trigger, but I would like to get a set within the next couple months. Other than that, I'm really pleased with what I got. I'm really pleased that I didn't get any more, though I kind of wish I bought everything. But I don't have the money for that. But it was a really lovely day. Good time. As always. So if you're ever able to go to Maryland's, I definitely recommend it. I am hoping that next year I'll be able to go both days and just chill out and knit with people for one of them. But I don't know if that'll happen. I'm hoping. If the weather's good, I think it'll happen. Outside of that, that's about all the news. That was a very long episode, with a lot of enabling. Yikes. I will be participating in the Knit Girl Stash Dash, which if you don't know what Stash Dash is, the very, very basic overview is, it's kind of this summer-long use up your stash knit along, basically. All the details are in their group. They host a lovely podcast if you have not checked them out. But it's fun. I've done it for years. I've never actually, completed Stash Dash. But I think this year will be the year. So that starts on May 26th. My goal is going to be 5,000 yards between May 26th and August, 20th or something. I'm toying with the idea of somehow making sure that the yardage, I don't know if I want to do yardage, skeins, or grams of yarn that comes in over the summer is less than what goes out. But I'm unsure about that just yet. I don't know if that's too restrictive. But I think if I could get a bunch of my hats that are cute up knit this summer, just get stuff out of stash. We'll see. I don't know if this is realistic or not, but maybe. So that's coming up. Oh! I came up with a knit-along idea, guys. Speckled Summer. What do you guys think of that? Speckled Summer 2017. So maybe from June 1st to August 31st, knitting stuff with speckle yarn. What do you think? I haven't nailed down any kind of rules. I would give away a pattern prize or 2 or more. I don't know yet. But I think it'd be fun to just knit along with our speckles. And because Speckled Summer sounds cool. It's half of it. So I'm thinking of doing Speckled Summer. If you're interested, let me know. Again, the best way to contact me is via Ravelry or Instagram, but Ravelry is probably better. Yeah, what do you think? I think it'd be a lot of fun. As for other things coming up, I could sit here and drone on about random stuff forever, but I'm not because it's almost 3 o'clock and I want to go knit and eat. I want to eat too. But I want to go knit. So until next time, thank you for watching. If you stuck through this long, God bless you. because that was a long episode. And please go, that's a really loud bird. Please go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. That's the best way to find out when new episodes are up. Because I am pretty much no longer putting any kind of, that bird is just going to keep going, any kind of announcements on Instagram. And I am usually pretty bad about posting in the Ravelry group. But YouTube's the best place to, that's the only place to watch. And that's the best way to find out about new episodes. I hope the birds and the planes and the lawnmowers weren't too distracting, but thank you for watching, and I will hopefully talk to you guys before the end of the month. Bye!